you're out there, you're riding, you're having a good time, and taking in the outdoors.
The fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
Man, one thing that I have trouble with, and I think a lot of people have trouble with, is trusting the bike. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're in a tough situation, just don't hit eject. And that's easier said than done, and I know it is for myself as well. So we all need to work on it, but these bikes are capable of a lot, and they're capable of saving you from a lot. So if you're going at high speed and you're coming up on a ledge and your initial response is to hit the brakes, but you're not going to be able to stop. Oh, you went that way. Consider leaning back and letting the bike take care of it. Don't put your butt on the seat. Flex your legs. Use the bike. Let it do what it's meant to do. Usually I do not hit eject, but that doesn't mean I have all the right habits. Sometimes I hit the brakes, and that's not good. It's better in most situations not to hit the brakes and just to hit the throttle or maybe lean back and let the bike take care of whatever it is. When you watch a lot of these guys on videos, they're doing some crazy stuff on bikes. It doesn't look like they're moving that much. It's because all the movement is really little. It's just little increments. It honestly looks like when somebody's riding a dirt bike, it looks like they're just standing or sitting. It looks like they're just turning the handlebars. That can't be that hard. But there are so many movements, little incremental movements that are so important. You're moving your ankles, your knees, every pivot point. You're constantly moving, and whether it's a quarter inch or an inch, those movements are very important. So when people do crazy things on, I think it's that way. So even doing a simple turn on a dirt bike requires a lot of body positioning, because if you simply lean the bike over, you're just going to fall, because you're always in a slide. You're always balancing the bike. Always. If you don't balance the bike, you're going to crash. That's why dirt biking is so hard to learn for new riders. It's a pretty painful sport to learn, because they're trying to figure that out. They're trying to figure out where to put the bike underneath of them while they're turning, especially under loose rock like right here, and making it so that the bike can move around and slide without falling over. And then you have to figure out how to shift and use the clutch and both brakes, which brake is best to use, how to use plenty of front brake into corners without grabbing a handful and just crashing every time. So there's a lot to riding a dirt bike, and I think that's something that beginners miss. Like if somebody was watching a motorcycle race and they never rode a motorcycle before, they don't have any idea how hard that is. Like, it's so hard to do. There's so many things that just have to be second nature. They have to be ingrained in your muscle memory to just respond a certain way. It's not like four wheels at all. And I'm not saying that the racers who do like four-wheeling, I'm not saying that they're not talented, but I am saying that you take any given retired dirt biker You give him a trophy truck, and he's probably going to be in the top trophy truck drivers, and that has happened over and over again. Watch Travis Pastrana, how his understanding of how a vehicle responds has helped him in car racing and all of that stuff. So there's so much to riding a dirt bike, and it's like the alpha sport of all dirt sports, in my opinion. It's like the most freedom you can obtain is on a dirt bike by far, but also it requires the most skill as far as experience on the machine before you can even ride it properly, ride it without hurting yourself. And especially at high speed. I mean, once you get into racing and all that, I mean, it really does take a lot for a dirt bike. And that's why I have such a respect for new riders who are getting into the sport, and they do it pretty much on their own. Especially, like, that's insane. I have a huge advantage because I grew up on dirt bikes. Not only that, but I went on some really hard terrain when I was little, on a little 50 and a little XR 100. Shoot, I did 16 to 1. That trail I did on a XR 100. So those of you who know 16 to 1, that's pretty technical. Yeah, just a huge amount of respect for people who are getting into riding and going through all the trials of trying to learn how to ride a motorcycle. But one of the game enders is people who get overconfident, and I saw that growing up quite a bit. I still see that in beginners, first year, second year riders, where they're just like, they've got horrible style and technique, but they're just going fast. And that's not good. I think I would recommend to everybody to start out going slow. It's so important to learn how to go slow first and learn the proper techniques. And once you know how to do that, then when you're going fast, you can apply those in a lot of the same situations. That way you learn how to do it properly and you feel good. You feel like you're really confident and you know your bike instead of just sending it. There is a send it factor once you get up to a racing level and you want to compete, especially at the higher levels, A class and AA, but you still need to learn slow techniques first. Because I see, like right now, it's kind of a weird thing because people learn different ways, and I have yet to ride, this is going to sound like super douchey, but oh well, I have yet to ride with anybody who I felt had as good of technique as I do. And there's lots of people who do, don't get me wrong. Well, there's a couple of people that were like the same probably. But, like for instance, one guy was really good, but he didn't have great technique. He was just really good at reading the trail. I was riding behind him like for days. And yeah, he was good at not getting stuck, but he just read the trail really well. That was just part of his riding style. Yeah, I know that in motorsports in general, there's a lot of ego, and I am completely guilty of that as well. Everybody's got, well, not everybody, that's not true, but a lot of people have a huge ego in motorsports. We're all just out here having fun. It really doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't. It's just about fun unless you are a person who is literally racing for a living. If you're doing that, you're probably the top 3 off-road guys or supercross, motocross racer. The rest of everybody else is pretty much just riding for fun. It's glorified riding for fun. That's what racing is. And so obviously you want to win, and there's ego just naturally involved with that. But when it's all said and done, we all just want to have fun on a bike. Because I see a lot of it. Like, most of you only see it when you're out talking to somebody at the races or talking to somebody out on the trail. But I see it, like, when I post to Instagram. People are always trying to, like, say how awesome they are. I'm human too. I do it all the time. Sometimes it grosses me out, but it is what it is. I never go full speed when I'm, like, on a trail ride. Like, probably less than 1% of the time I'm actually going full speed. So all of my videos pretty much on YouTube, I'm just going, like, I don't know, 40% at a very safe speed. Especially if I'm running my drone, because the drone is pretty limited on how fast it can follow me around. Maybe I took a wrong turn somewhere. Anyways, I will catch you on the next video. Peace.